Welcome back. This is WION. Well, here's a story that might make you go a little bananas. In India, the state of Himachal Pradesh has now ordered incentives between about $5 and $8 for people to kill monkeys in the state. That's right, to kill monkeys in Himachal Pradesh. Well, the government has been making attempts to control their population in the state, but unfortunately, the efforts so far have failed to yield any of those results. Now, the system was all part of a plan as an incentive introduced earlier this month, which covers the cost of different expenses that the citizens have to bear when killing the monkey. The state has more than 200,000 monkeys, leading to an annual loss of around 2 billion Indian rupees to both agricultural as well as horticultural teams. Now, that poses a threat to the livelihood of the people who live there. It also leads the monkeys to just be dangerous to the community. So quite an interesting decision by the government there. The decision to kill monkeys for cash rewards, though, has not impressed many folks from the civil society. So we're going to get a little bit of a perspective, understand why this is such a talking story. So let's bring our guest in. We have Ella Smetachak, a wildlife and environmental conservationist, to discuss this story. Quite a bizarre story, but let's talk about this. Why kill monkeys for money?
Well, obviously, it's clear the government can't control the situation. They're wild animals, and yes, of course, all the points you pointed out are true. But I mean, it's barbaric to kill animals. I mean, we had the Nilgai thing before, and the thing is, it used to be illegal to kill monkeys, and now they've basically given you an incentive to kill them for money. It's so bad. First of all, you're murdering wild animals. It's wrong, of course, on so many levels. The main thing is that what you need to do is the government has to figure out how to sterilize them. Sterilization is the most important thing. Yes, of course.
To control the population.
Yes, loss to crops is huge. I work with so many farmers,
sure.
And they're losing their livelihoods. It's probably above 2 billion. They're having to leave their farms and go to the cities and work and everything. It's awful. Yes, but the thing is, deforestation is a very important factor in this. I mean, the villages and cities are exploding. The population is increasing. So are you going to start shooting humans as well because there are too many? I mean, where does it go,
And especially in India, the monkey with, certainly Hindus, the Hanuman, there's a religious aspect of it as
yes.
well. How is that taken into consideration? It's very bizarre to see that, certainly you can understand pork or, pigs or cows for beef and, or pork for Muslims and Hindus. But this is a rather unusual one, but, Hanuman obviously being the monkey god and the
yes.
fact that a government is giving incentives, how is that being taken, and is it surprising? Is that a move that is just bizarre to provide incentives to
yes.
get rid of this population?
Yes, it's a holy animal, but surprisingly, I think the religious factions are more focused on the Gau Rakshak work right now.
Right.
I haven't actually seen a lot of religious leaders, Hindu leaders, sort of raising their voice as much as they should have done because, to protect them. Because of course, if you're a religious leader, you should also protect not just a society, you should protect animals as well, of course. And I think to be paid to kill animals it just seems illegal, it seems wrong, it is wrong.
Right.
It's not the way. I mean, what you need to do is you need to work on the three-point approach. You sterilize the animals, you figure out ways to protect the farms. There's electric fencing, which is very cheap. There are proper poly houses you can put up, greenhouses, which the government is supposed to be giving, but the quality is so poor. So you always come down to, corruption. Every issue that we face in, conservation is always about corruption.
What about the precedent that this kind of situation sets up for poachers dealing with when the government is, providing incentives? What type of a message is this sending out, especially when you have a lot of poachers in the community? Is this a
it's a green signal. It's a green signal, I mean, you're giving people the incentive to kill monkeys. And what are they going to kill? Yes, money. Poachers already have a roaring business. I mean, there are leopards, tigers, you name it. All the animals are always under threat and we're always trying to protect them. But
do you think other governments may follow suit, or is this only a problem in that specific area? I mean,
no,
could this be an India-wide problem later on?
We had the Nilgais being killed in many parts of Bihar and stuff. So yes, I think this is going to be a very fast-track approach that they've taken, and we don't approve of it. And we're going to do everything we can to stop it because it just leads to more deforestation. Because the problem is not really the monkeys. The problem is the humans. They're cutting trees. They're setting fire to trees. That is what has destroyed the undergrowth. I mean, millions of hectares of forest have been destroyed in the forest fires. And
what do you think the government needs to do at this point? You know, the fact they've offered incentives, what are the steps that needed to be done
well,
so that it doesn't set a
steps.
precedent?
First of all, the Forest Resource Authority has not been planting trees that they claim to have been planting. You know, an inquiry needs to be made into that. 42,000 crores has been, you know, given by the Indian government to plant trees. Where are those trees? Are they being planted? They're not being planted. Every year, fires break out, mysterious fires, and some say that, you know, these are natural fires. Some say people have lit them. The fact is that all the young seedlings which were planted every year are being burnt. So thousands and thousands of crores are disappearing. Where's this money going? It's not just about monkeys, it's not just about Himachal, it's about our environment, it's about our rivers, it's about our water sources.
Ultimately, the reason that, one of the pushes for it is because of the fact that it's losing, the livelihood for farmers and people because of the monkey population. Is there, you talk about sterilization, is there something else that could be done without killing them necessarily to sort of as a win-win, to save the monkey population as well as protect the people whose livelihood depends on those crops and other types of agriculture? What else? What are the other options at this point besides killing them for money?
They do have to do, sterilization, very rigorous sterilization in all the places. They also need to put up, fencing, electric fencing to protect the flat terraces, and then all the areas where they have orchards which are damaged by monkeys, the apple orchards, for instance, and the almond orchards.
What about the use of the electric fencing? Isn't that also that could also kill them too? That's also
no. Animals learn really quickly, and they have these non-lethal fences as well, so they don't actually kill the animal. They give them a shock, and the animals stay away. It's used
what about
all
transferring them? Why, there's so much in one state.
Well,
is there a way to move them from there to another part, or you always talk about endangered species or animals, but if humans intervene or the government is giving this kind of a mandate, at a certain point they could,
it's
maybe not, but at a certain
point
eradicate the population.
You speak about that because they actually have truckloads of monkeys being taken away from the capital, for instance, and they're dumped all over, as close as possible, in these places where there are farms.
Right.
So actually, I'm from Bhimtal, and we see truckloads of monkeys being dumped at the edge of our forest reserve, and we also have an orchard. So we don't have an orchard anymore because the monkeys have destroyed it.
Is that the only state in India, though? Is that one of the states in India that has the highest population of monkeys, or are there other states that have done a different job in handling situations where you have a large population of monkeys, which, as we know, are sacred to a lot of Hindus, especially within the country?
The thing is, one reason is our forests, they can't support the monkey population anymore, because there's just not enough undergrowth for them.
Right.
There's just not enough, fruit and berries and, undergrowth for them to live on. They can't live on pine, and they can't live on, cypress. So they have to go to the orchards. And of course, they would prefer an apple to foraging.
Right.
That's there.
An apple a day may not only keep the doctor away, but maybe keep our monkeys also safer. But certainly not. The discussion is not over. But we appreciate your time. Unfortunately, out of discussion for this. But hopefully, we'll get any updates. We'll bring you back on to talk about that. Thank you so much. And it also does it for our bulletin for right now. Of course, you can check our digital, mobile, and social media platforms for all the latest stories on WION. I'm Archit Seshadri. We'll see you soon.